Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to another session of Living World of Darkness, New York by Night, the Camarilla venue. Tonight, we find a newcomer to the city, a Dr. Valerian Kaufmann, in southeast Harlem in an underground car park. Strange place to find a doctor, you might say. Well, with him he has a duffel bag full of various lotions and potions and powders and pills, and quite a sizable amount, a few £1,000s worth if his training doesn't fail him. And he's supposed to be meeting with a gang of sorts. People who are interested in buying this merchandise and altering it in various nefarious ways to make it more valuable on the street. So in this dimly lit underground car park, there's no security cameras, as you'll have noticed, and right now it's deserted but for a few cars dotted around. You're on the very top floor. And how are you feeling? Tell us a little bit about Dr. Valerian Kaufmann.
Well, Kaufman is very good at not showing emotion, so he doesn't appear nervous at all. However, he has begun incessantly cracking his knuckles while waiting for these people to arrive.
I'm very sorry. I believe my YouTube spontaneously opened. Would you mind repeating that? I'm very sorry.
Yes. Well, Kaufman is capable of keeping his general cool. He has begun cracking his fingers and sort of shifting from foot to foot while waiting for his contact to get there. It's very clear that he wants to be gone as soon as possible.
Okay. And sorry, what does he look like? Can you set the scene for us a little? General appearance and demeanor.
Sure. Dr. Kaufman is a very tall, sickly-looking person, entirely androgynous, with dark circles under his eyes. Though you can't see that because he's wearing a large pair of round sunglasses. And yeah, he's dressed in a dress shirt and slacks, and has his hair combed very nicely. He looks very out of place here in general.
Okay. So, will you roll me your perception and alertness, please?
Yes. Perception. Did that work?
Yes, it did. Okay. So with that roll, you can hear the rumble of a car approach, and you can tell it's sort of a big vehicle. You're talking like an SUV of some kind. But you notice there's like an engine behind it. You can almost hear like two cars. But as this black tinted windowed SUV pulls around the corner, there is only one. And inside, well, you see very little other than the characters in the front of the car. There are two rather heavily built white guys. They're wearing like street clothes. They don't look particularly smart. It's all sort of really ratty kind of, hoodie, pair of joggers, like a pair of boots kind of thing. But they look like they've seen better days actually. And as they pull in to the floor, they stop the car and kill the lights and turn the engine off. And four guys climb out, and one of them has a briefcase. And they approach you. And in fact, with that roll, you notice that they all have a bulge of some kind under their jacket.
A what?
A bulge of some kind under their jacket, either in the pocket or like under their armpit or something like that.
All right. Well, I will straighten up and approach the one that appears to be leading them with the briefcase and say, "Are you the guys I was supposed to meet?"
One of them steps forward. He's particularly broad. He's got a shaved head. He speaks with he's got like a relatively low class sort of New York accent. I mean, which I'm crap at, so I'm not going to do for you. But he's looking and he says, Kaufmann.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah, we were sent to meet you. Got the stuff?
Yeah, do you have the money?
Stuff first. Throw it over. I want to take a look.
Alright, I swing the bag over and toss it to him.
Two of the men sort of stand looking at you while this guy with the shaved head talks to his friend next to him, a bloke with his hood pulled up. This guy's carrying a briefcase. And they sort of turn around, they turn their backs from you, and they open this bag and they sort of sift through it. They're speaking, they're like conversationally, very quietly, and sort of like yeah or no, or you can hear the odd sort of thing of is that Valium? You know, you hear a couple of buzzwords from your trade as they read the packets before they get up and they straighten and sort of sigh. Says, looks like it's all here. Thanks, Doctor.
And the money?
He sort of smiles a bit and he says, oh yeah, about the money. And the guy opens the briefcase and there's nothing inside it. Now, another perception alertness, please.
Okay. Also, I'm going to spend a blood point to pump my dexterity up one.
That is a good idea.
Try that again. There we go.
Okay, yep, no successes on my part. You even see it. This guy's hand reach behind the briefcase, and you know even before he's begun to pull out that he's gone for the gun hidden in his belt. And so the other gentlemen, actually, they all reach for weapons. And so because of that alertness roll, I'll give you first action.
Okay. I'm going to reach towards the nearest one and attempt to disarm him and take his weapon.
Ballsy, I like it. Okay, that's a leap. They're less than 5 steps away, so I will give you that. It's the closest one is the guy holding the... No, the closest one isn't the guy holding the briefcase. It's the guard to the right of the man holding the briefcase. He's stepped forwards as he raises his gun. And if you roll your Dex Brawl, I'll give you +1 to the action because he's trying to pull his gun out.
Alright.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Okay, this guy, just as he pulls the gun from under his jacket, you've just swooped in, really. Like, it's done with a flourish, like you know, your coat and your shirt billow in the small breeze as you sort of run forward, grab him by the hand and grab him by the elbow, and you twist. And a shot fires off as you sprain his wrist and wrench the gun from his hand. In return, no, because he was resisting you, he doesn't get to act. However, do you want to roll me a quick initiative, by the way?
Sure. Cool. See, that will be 1d10, 6 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 14.
Okay, cool. Oh shit, that's the wrong dice pool. Right, 11. Okay, rather conveniently, they are all moving after you. But they still get their actions this turn. However, one of them has failed to get his gun out, the guy with the briefcase, and the other two, well, one of them's going to be on a minus. But yeah, now you have, because that was so successful, I'm going to let you try and, this will be interesting, I'm going to give you a dex roll to try and get behind the guy as they shoot.
Okay. One.
Oh no. Okay, right. That's the first one. He has got 4 successes. Okay. So, let me think. Damage. So, pistol, so it's... Okay. The bullet hits your shoulder. The shoulder furthest from the man you're currently trying to hide behind. And it catches you, and it's a heavy pistol, so it hits you hard. You don't hit the deck or anything, but you wobble, and it forces you to spin. As it, like, you feel it tear into you, go straight through the muscle. It's chipped a couple of bones. You're hurting, but you stood up because you're a vampire. Bullets don't fucking hurt you. House like hell, definitely not going to kill you. Now this other guy.
Wow, that was a shitty soak roll. How much damage did I take?
Oh, in that case, you've taken 3 bashing.
Is that before or after you round down?
Oh, actually, yeah. No, I only got 4 successes. So yeah. Oh yeah, it would be 3 because you've botched. So I'm going to make it 3.
Okay.
You have a full blood pool. You are still confident that after this guy has finished shooting you, that you probably handle this. However, he's going to be looking a bit worse for wear because I just got 5 successes. So, would you mind rolling me a? The dodge failed. In fact, actually, yeah, roll me another dodge. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, sporadic. I don't do much STing, so like.
That's okay. You're doing well. Ooh, I do have athletics. There.
Okay, so he has hit you, but it's gone down to 3 successes because of that. Okay, the bullet, the second bullet fired as you spin hits you in the opposite shoulder, and it kind of forces you into a slight pirouette. Before you you do land on the other side of this guy and you grab hold of him, sort of for support. And the bullets do indeed, from the remaining 2 shots, tear into his chest. So next round, this guy's going down, you're going to need to find other cover. But for the minute, Dr. Kaufmann looks himself over. In that brief moment he gets, his time slows down before the men start to fire again. And he realizes he has 2 bullet wounds, one of which he's going to shrug off, but the next he's not so sure about.
Let's see. God.
It's nothing. 'Tis but a flesh wound. Dr. Kaufmann is looking a little bit beaten up. Certainly, like, it's caught him in some vital areas in the chest that would really, really be a pain in the arse if he were human. But right now, he's only on 4 health levels, and he knows that he's got enough blood in his system to be able to heal this up. But right now, he knows he needs to move because the body's just hit the deck.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. What's the mechanic for like healing while you're doing stuff? Isn't there a role for that?
Isn't there a roll for what, sorry?
For healing while you're attacking. I think it's like survival plus something.
Um, Actually, we just let you spend the blood in this game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, then I will. I'll do that to heal one of the levels of bashing damage while I shoot at one of the gentlemen. The one that hit me in the shoulder where it actually hurt. I'm gonna kill him first.
okay. Okay. Right. The gun you've got is a heavy revolver. Um, so it's gonna do a fair whack of damage when you shoot someone with that. Um, and as you take aim with your slightly shaken arm, but you feel the blood rush to you as you heal. And in that slight moment of giddiness, you see perfectly down the sights, and you take this man into your aim. Okay, he's okay. He dances out of the way of your first bullet. With a look of fear on his face, he sort of just jumps to the left as he sees himself in your sights. And he lands sort of off foot, but quite perfectly actually. And sort of like looks like he's sort of surprised he's not hurt, but ready to go. He's not going to get another dodge action, and you have another shot.
Okay. So
You are going to be on a minus
try to
one.
get him again.
He got to such an angle, the roll was so good that you're going to be on a minus one to hit him though.
Okay, -1 dice pool.
Oh no, minus. Oh sorry, a plus one to hit him on your difficulty. So it's going to be 7.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Okay. Good. Right. 2 hits. I believe. Actually, I need to check my book. Forgot how much damage a heavy pistol does. Actually, 2 secs. The ST has encountered a fatal error and has to reboot. There we go. Okay, right, that's 5 damage. Okay, you're rolling 5 plus 2 for your damage. 2, sorry, yeah, 5 plus 2 dice. 7 die. One single shot, and it would appear it's all over for this man. After the success of his first dodge, he was stuck in that moment of how the hell did I do that? And he didn't see the next shot coming straight for his chest. He's hit the deck, and right now he's not moving. You can't. In fact, in your professional opinion, you'd say he's probably still alive, but really hurting. So you don't have to worry about him for now. Oh, and the gun clattered from his hand. As he hit the deck. Now, the other 2 gentlemen, a bit more of an issue. They've both pulled their guns and are aiming you in their sights, and there's no cover to be found. But then, out of nowhere, you hear the screech of an engine as it's not an impressive car. It's like a transit van pulls around the corner. Big white thing, and screeches to a halt as 4 men pile out of the. Sorry, not 4 men. Sorry, as 2 men pile out of the back and 2 men pile out of the front. One of them taking a shot as he does so. Let me find this. 4, 5, 6. Oh, yep, there we go. Sorry, dice pool refusing. Yeah, he's sort of stumbled out of the car and taken a pot shot at one of the men. Oh. Who has failed to evade. this man that you've seen jump out wearing, he's wearing like a long soul man's trench coat, it's like comes off just before the knees in like a dark brown leather with a big fur collar. On his head he wears a pork pie hat that's really beaten up. It looked like it was really, really well looked after, but it's been around for a long, long time. And there's a bullet hole through just the top of it. He's wearing what looks like it used to be a really nice Italian suit back in the 1950s, like late 1950s. It looks like now not so much. It's sort of a little bit moth-eaten and a bit sort of, a bit baggy in place. But it looks like it was really nice once. On his feet he wears a battered pair of brogues. And his eyes sort of dart as, like to this man as he jumps out of the car and just takes a pot shot. It hits him square in the back. And let's see his soap pool. In fact, he doesn't. Oh wait, he gets 1 dice because he's going like success. Yeah, one of the men who's standing with his gun pointed at you crumples to the floor. Yeah, and the second one, he's about to take a shot, but then sort of startles as this shot rings out and hits his friend, and he's just drops his gun. He's outnumbered and outgunned at present. In front of you, there are 3 bodies, 2 of which are groaning on the floor. 2 men dressed in suits, and sort of, 2 men dressed in suits, 2 men dressed in like European casual boy clothing. These are the men that have gotten out of the van, and bloody and beaten, but certainly not dead, there is Valerian Kaufmann, stood with this scene of carnage before him, with one man with his hands up looking at him.
Right. Kaufmann is going to approach the last man with who's raising his hands and look him in the eye and say, "Run." I'm going to make a dominate roll. 3 plus 2 plus 6. Cool. I don't know what his willpower is, but
Oh, is that your dominate roll? Sorry. I zoned out.
yes. That's okay.
Alright, okay. This mortal's mind breaks, and he just instantly blanks, turns and runs towards the exit. His mind seems to come back on. He remembers everything he's just seen, but all he knows is that he wants to run. But as he does so, he kind of looks down. Just before he does, he looks down at the bullet wounds and then looks back at you. And then looks at the gun on the floor next to him. And just before he can say, "What the fuck?" you say run. And he breaks into an admirable run. Yeah, let's say 3 dice in it. Yeah, I'm not going to roll. I don't need to roll for this next part. Because he botched his roll. As he runs past the tall, lithe gentleman, who you sort of notice, like, sort of curly, sort of light brown hair sticking out from under this hat, and sort of 2 grey eyes and quite a pale, high cheekbone face, got a very square jawline. He's a very Englishly handsome man. His hand shoots out a little bit too quickly, maybe, Doctor? But quickly enough, and grabs this man's collar as he walks, as he goes to run past. And just with his other hand, bops him in the back of the head. In what looked like to you, like a downward slap. It's odd, because usually, as a doctor, you can tell, usually a punch needs a little bit more blunt force, like a fist, to knock somebody out. But this guy sort of did it almost with a downward slap. with the back of his hand, and this man sort of is suddenly knocked out on the floor. He turns to the men with him who have come armed. The two in the European casual stuff, from your study of human genetics, when in mortal associations to kindred, the two in the tracksuits look Russian, whereas the two men in suits, I mean, one of them looks very English, but the other one, black man, American, dressed in a suit, jazzman style. One of them, this tall man in the suit turns to his men and he says, "All right, take those bodies, put them in the van, get them out of there. You dig?" And they pick it up, pick the bodies up, and move them, leaving the unconscious man where he is. You note. They take him into the van, and all get in. And one of these, in fact, it's the black guy, the jazz-looking guy, turns to his boss. He sort of looks at you, then turns to his boss, and sort of gives like a sideways glance, and looks at the bullet holes, and he looks back at his boss, and he sort of shakes his head. Says, like a don't talk, don't ask, like. And he gets in the car, and they drive away, leaving a body on the floor and 3 bloodstains. And this tall, rather weary but strangely handsome-looking man stood in front of you with like a gun hanging loosely in his hand. Thanks for that.
All right. I'm gonna step forward and offer my hand and say, "Thanks for the assistance."
Don't mention it. So, I should be thanking you, really, because I've been after these guys for ages. They keep running around other people's turf, see, where they don't belong. You wouldn't happen to be running on somebody else's turf where you don't belong, would you?
I am quite welcome here, as far as I'm aware. As for this little predicament, I was very hard-pressed for cash, so I wasn't sure where to turn.
Turned into a life of crime. Very naughty. So, he looks down at the bullet holes and looks back into your eyes. How long have you been in the city, then, Kindred?
I got here approximately a week ago.
What city did you come from?
Los Angeles, California.
Could the Prince of Los Angeles quantify that?
Of course.
I'm sorry, Los Angeles is Camarilla domain, isn't it? It's not Anarch.
As far as I know, it is still Camarilla.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I had a moment of worry where I was like, oh god, the Harpy doesn't know what an Anarch state is. No, but he now he says, right. So what brings you to New York?
I had a bit of a disagreement with my sire over our research and decided it would be best if we split up.
What's your sire's name?
Have it written down somewhere around here. My sire's name is Dr. Johann Weiss.
So Johann Weiss. And what's your name?
Dr. Valerian Kaufmann Sakharov. Dr. Kaufmann is sufficient.
Dr. Kaufmann. And I see you have Fame 1 there. Would I know about you?
Yes, Dr. Kaufmann is published in several medical journals, so if you read any of those, you might have come across his name.
Oh, well, in that case, no way. But I wondered if it was with the kindred. He says, "All right. Well,
He has published some papers for the Camarilla about kindred physiology too, but nothing as extensive as his human research."
he sort of looks you up and down, and makes a roll which he spends willpower on. Okay. 2 successes. He's just done a perception empathy. Is he picking up honesty from you? Are you any ticks that are going to make it seem like you're lying? Anything like that?
Well, he has a constant tick of cracking his fingers that might be noticeable, but as far as you can tell, he's probably not lying.
See, he notices the tick of cracking the knuckles, and he paces he paces, but he passes you, and then seems to circle you a little as he continues talking. Oh, because only thing is, I mean, assuming you planned your move to New York, you'd have heard. We've had something of a Sabat problem.
Yes, my venture here was actually planned around that.
Oh, really?
Indeed, see, for my research to have any quantifiable data, I would be required to experiment upon kindred, and to do so to the Camarilla would be much more unethical than to do so with the monsters of the Sabbat.
And another roll. Okay, 2 10s. So, right, are you lying?
Nope.
Cool.
Nope.
As he comes full circle to stand a lot closer to you than he was before, this man narrows his eyes and smiles a very wry but quite a cheeky smile, and sort of says, "Well, welcome to New York, Dr. Kaufmann. My friends call me Limey. I'm the harpy round here. And the
A
sheriff."
harpy. How interesting. It's a pleasure to meet you, Limey. You're a Toreador, then?
I'm also the sheriff. Brugia, actually.
Oh, I see. An unconventional choice for a harpy. You must have proved yourself well.
Well, I'm one of the longest standing faces round here, you dig?
Of course.
So, Dr. Kaufmann, where are you staying?
Where is the name of this hospital? I'm staying at the Elmhurst Hospital Center up north.
Well, where is that? Is that in Manhattan, out of interest?
Yes.
Larry kind of nods his head and sort of he sort of like runs a hand over his stole. And does the prince know you're here?
Yes, I introduced myself recently.
See, the prince has been a little bit hard to get hold of. Have you been formally presented? Like, genuinely, like, has there been a scene run? No, I don't know.
Oh, no, I haven't had the scene yet. Jesse said that he would do it with me later, and then we could just retcon it to be before this.
Okay, alright, cool. Well, he sort of smiles and nods. He says, in that case, you've met the seneschal. The prince isn't active, really, recently, but the seneschal's been the face of the executive, so it were. Have you met any other kindred since you've been here?
You would be the first.
Well, it is an honour.
Indeed, the honor is all mine. So, Bruja. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. And what clan might you be from? I know it's rude to ask, but enlighten me.
Well, I hail from Clan Malkavian, if my sire and those in California are to be believed.
Well, in that case, you want introducing to, well, unfortunately the Primogen Council was disbanded, but I suppose the leadership of the Malkavians, he's been the longest running around here, so. Mr. Rick Grayson. Tell me, do you read any horror fiction, Doctor?
I'm afraid not.
Well, you see, Rick is a friend of mine, and he's a rather well-known writer. He has some interesting thoughts on. Limey almost looks a little bit confused, even just saying it, but he just sort of says on reality as a whole. Sounds like you're in slightly separate fields, but I'm sure you'll get along just fine.
I tend to not get along very well with my clanmates for that particular reason.
Well, he is the most established Malkavian of these parts, and I'd suggest that you at least try. There's something, there's a force with his words, like, it's not so much a request. You see, the city has been fractured recently. We're just starting to rebuild, and it'd be nice if everyone could play nice. You dig?
Understood.
Good, good. Well, I'm sure I've detained you long enough. He reaches into his pocket and leafs through a sizable wad of cash, actually, and he hands you 300. Says, to deal with your immediate cash flow problem, you can owe me one.
He takes it and counts it and then pockets it and says, "Thank you, your kindness is much appreciated."
Well, treat others how you like to be treated. So, if you leave me your number, I'll get you in contact with Rick.
Yes. And he reaches out and he pulls out a very old cell phone, like it's the ones that's about this big and covers your entire jawbone area. And he reaches over to it and he opens up his contacts window and he says, "Could I have yours first?"
He looks you up and down and he says, well, if you need me, you can find me at the coal cellar in Harlem, just off Malcolm X Boulevard. Ask for Limey, they'll point you in my direction.
Well, in that case, I'll just give you mine. And he reaches into his into the pocket of his dress shirt and pulls out a small notepad and a pen, and he writes down his phone number in his horrific doctor's handwriting and hands it to you. It's barely legible, but you can sort of make out some numbers there.
Like, can I read? Is this going to be callable?
Sorry, I'm afraid that I haven't the best penmanship. All of my papers are typed.
He kind of holds it up to his face and squints, like, yeah, I'll give you a call. It's been a pleasure, Dr. Kaufmann. I do hope we'll see
Likewise.
you again soon.
I hope under better circumstances.
Welcome to New York, good doctor. And Limey turns and walks away into the shadowed exit of this car park, flight of stairs going down. His leather-soled brogues clicking against the concrete, and his coat sort of flapping behind him slightly in the light breeze of the open air. And there we leave Dr. Kaufmann in the middle of the floor, undoubtedly ready to walk off into the night to meet the other kindred of the city. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you very much for playing. Good night.